Christopher Cantwell, Cafu, and Frank de Armada continue their wonderful Korvac saga as Tony assembles a team from the only people who would take his call and goes hunting for the android Korvac, who has his own plans for Tony and Patsy already in motion. Christopher Cantwell continues writing an utterly enthralling and action-packed series that, for yet another issue, ups the stakes. I love the introduction to Tony's Avengers D-list team, continuing to play on the joke that no one will actually take Tony's calls anymore and kind of have written him off a little bit. But also, Tony hoped that these people would take his call, being that James is in trouble and he can't really contact any of his fellow Avengers, so this is all he's left with, basically. Korvac's continued crazy cult leader storyline continues to be so damn captivating, and Tony's speech about almost believing in the man was fantastic, and it's something I think many people have thought about as well. Surely one of the many people throughout history, be it the Marvel history, our history, who have thought themselves a god or who have strived to achieve godhood, has to be right. One of them has to have been right, or at least was going to be right. It all feeds into Tony's own odyssey into himself and his self-worth. His armor also feeding into this as well, since it keeps eroding over the course of the story, keeps getting damaged and looks like crap now. It's like a visual representation of how he is emotionally and how he's emotionally tired. It's a great visual representation, and it's something that's not easy to see unless there is some sort of visual cue to it, and it leads to him finally being quote-unquote broken in more ways than one in this issue. Cafu and Frank de Armada continue to smash out some wonderful looking art and never once falters in any way. The way they use elements like rain and lightning and electricity in particularly in this issue was so damn fun to look at, as well as things we don't usually see from Iron Man, like the hero perched on a dark rooftop in the rain overlooking the city at night. That's like something you'd see for Batman or Spider-Man or something, not something you'd usually see with Iron Man, so it's really cool to see them sort of change up the way we see Tony and the hero, and it fits Iron Man really well. Color is also used really well thanks to Frank, with much of the book taking place in the rain, therefore all of the colors are a little bit muted and all of it feels really cooler and darker, and it plays really well into the story of where Tony and a lot of the characters are at the moment emotionally. Iron Man issue 5 was another awesome issue from Christopher Cantwell and his team, continuing not only Tony's mission of self-discovery and a journey to find a better version of himself, but also this large-scale cosmic story with Korvac that keeps delivering on unexpected twists and turns and cliffhangers. I thoroughly enjoyed the mashing of these two really different storylines, and I cannot wait for the next issue. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Iron Man issue 5 finds Tony asking the waking Patsy if she can hear Korvac, but she can't right now. Tony is glad the woman has 9 lives, but knows she's probably used about 5 or 6 of them by now. She notes how bad Tony's armor is starting to look, but Tony tells her to rest up, since he's going to go and talk with the rest of the people in private. Leaving Patsy's quarters, Tony meets with his team, telling them that there is no free coffee or donuts, and really they are all there since they are the only ones he could get on such short notice. The team, consisting of Gargoyle, Scarlet Spider, Misty Knight, and Frogman, are happy to be there though. Misty asks about Hellcat, reminding Stark that she is charging by the hour. Tony reassures them that Hellcat is fine, and he had Halcyon track them all down because he needs to keep a lid on this or Rhodey will be killed. Tony catches them up on what's been happening and how Korvac is back and has been planning on ending all existence. But right now, Korvac is just an android supercharged with 48 petawatts of energy, less than half of what the Earth absorbs from the sun at any given moment. Misty is sarcastically glad that he's not as powerful as the sun, as Tony says that he's strong enough to storm Tar-2, Galactus Worldship, and he possibly wants to take on Galactus himself. This silences the D-list team, as Tony knows the being wants the power cosmic, and last time he got it, it was on Tar-2, so it stands to reason he's going back there for that. He introduces Halcyon to the team, telling them of his mutant ability to keep his heart rate locked at 70 beats per minute, and the suit that he's made for him stimulates his adrenal system so he's not instantly killed while with the team. Scarlet Spider asks how they intend to stand a chance, and Tony has no idea, but his best answer is the team have him, and they need to do as he says. Misty knows that she will do it for James and the universe and for Patsy, but not for him. Tony doesn't have time to deal with their opinions and needs them all to get to work right now. Elsewhere, Korvac shaves off his goatee as Unicorn says that they have locked onto Tartu's coordinates. Leaving the restroom, he gathers his men and heads for the shuttle, stopping to see Rhodey, who comments on the goatee, prompting Korvac to kick him in the face again. Blizzard says that they need to move before Tartu leaves the Goss sector, but Korvac doesn't want to pull Stark into space since he needs to be sacrificed on the planet. Controller says that their vessel is in place and activated, pleasing Korvac, who says that they need 1 hour to prepare for departure. Patsy meanwhile is racked with pain thanks to Korvac's connection, making her remember how years before she underwent electroshock therapy, told by her doctors that this will clear her mind and will have a better chance for her to recover. Korvac tells Patsy to follow him and bring Stark with her, but Hellcat knows that the villain only wants them dead. Patsy finds that she has been taken to a rainy alley where Korvac appears before her, saying that he doesn't want that. He wants to help fix her tormented soul. He promises not to hurt her again, but Patsy knows this isn't the first time she's heard voices in her head. Korvac tells her that he is the light that will free the world, but Patsy tells him to go fuck himself, smashing her hand into a transformer on the side of the alley, electrocuting herself and knocking herself out. Korvac knows that she's just being ignorant, telling her to suffer as Tony meanwhile surveys the city's roofs, wondering if, thanks to Korvac's vast intellect, does he really know better, knowing himself to have had many ideas to save the world and how he's been so sure of himself, but also how wrong he's been every time. Tony knows that people love pointing that out to him now, and knows lots of people have thought that they were God over the years, and it's possible one of them could have been right. Misty meanwhile finds a massive radiation signature coming out of a warehouse in Port Morris. The team wonder if this is possibly Korvac's ship, as Frogman says Hellcat is gone and so is Stark. Tony though is following Hellcat, knowing that she led him right to Korvac. Tony rushes into the alley and finds Patsy, helping her up, but all Patsy says is that she sees fire, not wanting the fire to touch her. She's thinking she is talking to Damon Hellstrom, her former husband, calling for help and for him to help her. She continues to go on about the fire and how she's dead as Tony calms her, telling her that he shouldn't have let her go near Korvac, hugging Patsy in the rain. Tony is contacted by Misty, who tells him of the radiation, told to wait for Tony to make a move. Suddenly, people in a nearby building run outside, screaming about a man with a bomb. Tony tells Patsy that he has to go and will be back soon as he enters the laundromat, where he confronts Korvac. Tony tells the man how to properly do his laundry, telling him to separate his whites from his colors, otherwise they'll bleed. But Korvac knows that Tony himself could do with a little change of clothes, seeing as his arm is all banged up. He reassures him that there is no bomb, but Iron Man tells him taking over the universe with the best intentions never gets him anywhere. But Korvac already knows that, knowing Tony doesn't think he can pull it off. Korvac wonders if Tony is the better candidate for this, but Tony knows that no one would ever trust him, including himself. But if someone has to call the shots, he would rather it be someone who knows what's right and what's wrong. Tony's team meanwhile find the ship in the port, entering it and telling Tony that there is nothing there, as Korvac knows Tony wishes to be in his shoes, wanting to make the proclamations he is, aware Tony hates being told he's wrong. Tony's team continue to explore the ship and tell him what they have found as the ship they are on explodes, destroying the entire building with it. Tony loses contact with Misty and the others as Korvac tells him he's nothing more than an upright walking worm. Tony blasts him with everything he's got left in the armor, but all it does to the android is melt off some of his synthetic skin. Tony's suit begins to fail thanks to low power, cutting his mobility systems and causing him to fall hard onto the ground, trapped in the suit, as Korvac calls his men, wanting them to tell Guardsman that his false ship was a great success and he will be greatly rewarded. Korvac stamps on Tony, causing a cervical fracture, leaving the hero to enter hypoxia and slowly suffocate to death.